Welcome to our 2018 movie recap. We're going to go through the top 8 highest grossing movies. At number 8 is Ready Player One. In the year 2045, on his deathbed, James Halliday, the creator of a wildly popular virtual reality utopia known as the Oasis, begins a hunt for his fortune and ownership of the whole VR MMO world with puzzles and riddles based on Halliday's obsession with pop culture of decades past. After years of searching for Halliday's Easter egg, one average teenager named Wade Watts solves the first clue. He sparks excitement and hope back to the hunt, and throwing him into a world of people willing to kill for the information he has, changing his life forever. We go to a very, very random user review from Rotten Tomatoes.
Ready Player One is a steaming pile of over-merchandised crap. The story isn't very compelling, and it's incredibly predictable, especially if you are part of the I grew up in the 80s, 90s demographic that they're targeting. We're supposed to believe that after about 2016 or so, pop culture died. No one in the Oasis became famous, no one made any memes, no new music, no new movies, no new anything. Lots of cameras in the Oasis to have never made another film. Very, very strange. Beyond that, the cast is a terrible mashup of unlikable losers. They will have you rooting for the overly stereotypical corporate villain by the end of the movie. To make matters worse, they included the always shitty TJ Miller in this member-berry cash grab. This movie is such an over-commercialized piece of crap that it will only appeal to children and childish adults. Even those people will have to check what little intelligence they have at the door when they see this film. Ready Player One, a stupid movie for even stupider people.
Ready Player One, as in the book, pays homage to popular culture from various time periods, mainly the 1970s and 1980s, but also extending to the 1990s and 2000s and 2010s. Reviewers have identified well over 100 references to films, television shows, music, toys, video games, anime, and comics from these eras.
All right, Badger, you and Gary have both seen this movie. I'm excluded. I have not seen this movie. But Gary, starting with you, what are some thoughts on this movie?
Well, I really enjoyed it, actually, and I saw there in the review that it said that it was made for children of the 80s or 90s and pretty much half-wits and fucktards, and I am all of those things. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pop culture references to things from the 80s, movies like Back to the Future and The Shining, and I enjoyed the ending too, where he has to, spoiler alert, play an Atari 2600 game, which I had as a child, to win control of the Oasis. So I enjoyed it, but again, it says in the reviews it's for fuckwits, and I guess that's me. So
I actually completely agree with Gary. He is a fucktard.
Thank you, Badger.
The movie was all right.
Marks out of 10, I give it 7.
I would probably give it like 5 stars out of 10.
But remember, as a fucktard, I don't know.
I'm only halfway fucktard.
Number 7 on the list is Ant-Man and the Wasp. In the aftermath of Captain America's Civil War, Scott Lang grapples with the consequences of his choices as both a superhero and a father. As he struggles to rebalance his home life with his responsibilities as Ant-Man, he's confronted by Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym with an urgent new mission. Scott must once again put on the suit and learn to fight alongside the Wasp as the team works together to uncover secrets from their past. We go to a random user review.
One of the most boring superhero movies I've seen in a long time. All the jokes were boring and unfunny. I was falling asleep through this. The only superhero movies worse than this one that I've seen are Hulk, Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, and Daredevil. If you want to watch the main actor in this movie, Paul Rudd, watch Anchorman or Role Models. I can't really say anything more about this movie other than I was bored for the entire movie.
Ahead of the film's release, Reed noted that he and Marvel were hopeful about a third film, having discussed potential story points. Michael Douglas also expressed interest in playing a younger version of his character, Hank, in a prequel, something which Reed already teased back in 2015. Badger, you have seen this film. Do you have any thoughts on this film? Did you enjoy it? Was it a bust? let us know, buddy.
I like all these Marvel superhero movies. This one probably doesn't rank up there with like the Avenger series or Iron Man or Hulk.
I have to say I was disappointed with this because having seen the Kiss Halloween movie, I was hoping that the Ant-Man and the Wasp was about the 80s metal band Wasp, particularly their song Fuck Like a Beast. I was very, very disappointed to not see any heavy metal bands in this movie at all.
Yeah, it wasn't about a heavy metal band from the 80s.
Damn it.
Number 6 on the list is Deadpool 2. After losing Vanessa, the love of his life, fourth wall breaking mercenary Deadpool must assemble a team and protect a young full-figured mutant named Fire Fist from Cable, a no-nonsense, dangerous cyborg from the future, and must also learn that the most important lesson of all, to be a part of a family again. We go to, looks like 3 user reviews.
Honestly, what in the world, man? Just what the fuck? This movie sucked. It had no plot. The only funny part, I guess, was they keep making 2018 references and that they won't tell us what year it is. This movie just made me angry at its stupidity and lack of intelligence. Distracting me with great violence cuts and funny references just isn't enough movie, but good try. Filled with social justice warrior garbage and cringy jokes.
This movie was horrible. I am glad I didn't see it in the movie theater. Plus, Ryan Reynolds' sly racist remarks, such as Black Widow, well, that was disrespectful. Not a fan anymore.
I did not like this movie. I do not find Ryan Reynolds funny at all. Deadpool is full of what is apparently supposed to be witty, sarcastic comments. However, I found this film lacked big time. The lines were cheesy, very expected. The storyline was confusing with so much going on. And Deadpool character was, of course, supposed to be everyone's favorite. I personally lost interest in this film after the first half hour. The Deadpool character didn't impress me or charm me with his wittiness or sarcasm. Instead, he bored me with swearing at inappropriate times and trying too hard.
By November of 2016, with development underway on a Deadpool 2, Fox was also planning Deadpool 3, which was said to include the team X-Force. In March of 2017, Reese clarified that though Deadpool 2 sets up the X-Force team, a future film focused on the team would be separate from Deadpool 3. So I think we'll be able to take 2 paths. Badger, you've seen this movie.
I would have to agree with some of those user reviews. I think they tried way too hard to make Ryan Reynolds be witty and sarcastic Deadpool, which was his shtick in the first one. But it almost gets a little too much because they're trying too hard to make him into a good guy, even though he's a very salty person.
I saw it too. I saw it at the movies. I thought it was okay. I think I liked the first one better. The second one takes the qualities of the first one and just, exaggerates them and, balls them all up and throws them at the screen. It's still a good movie. It's still funny. There are some racist undertones, if I recall correctly. One of Deadpool's friends is like an Indian dude that gets the piss taken out of him all the time, the taxi driver guy. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a real popcorn movie. That was about it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still watchable and funny, I thought.
Number 5 on the list is Mission Impossible Fallout. After a mission goes wrong, anarchist Solomon Lane escapes custody. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team are blamed, and their loyalty is questioned. They attempt to fulfill their initial mission and recapture Lane while also trying to outrun a ruthless CIA agent tasked with taking them out. As Hunt fends off these old and new threats, he also realizes allies within IMF might have other motives. We go to random user reviews.
Terrible, boring movie. Cruise has lost his touch, and he just needs to stick to Scientology.
Really? This movie makes sense to anyone? How? Is Ethan Hunt a superhuman now, defying the laws of physics while riding a motorcycle? Or hanging on a helicopter on a rope with a hook that latches onto a piece of rock? I should have known that if J.J. Abrams is involved, it would be a nonsensical bullshit on screen. undemanding half-wits might have fun watching it. Not recommended if you pay attention.
Robert Abelli of The Wrap described Cruise as an evergreen movie star with the daredevil heart of a stuntman, and that he puts every ounce of effort he can into the long, hard work of maintaining a blockbuster franchise. Gary, you have seen this film. Do you have any thoughts on it, and did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, go to the half-wit first. But yes, I have seen this movie. I've really enjoyed the last 2 or 3 Mission Impossible movies. This one, no exception. I thought it was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed it. Lots of action, lots of explosions. I guess if you were to pull it apart, some things in it are a little bit, but it's the movies. I mean, the action movies in the 80s were the same way. Everything Schwarzenegger did was the same way. To suspend disbelief for a minute and just enjoy a great movie. I did enjoy it. And as a side note, there's footage that they left in the movie of Tom Cruise actually breaking his ankle pretty badly. He does this jump from one building to another when he's running across a rooftop. And you can find the actual footage online, but they left the original take in the movie, and he jumps from one movie to the other, and his ankle catches on the roof that he's jumping to, and he twists it so bad that they had to stop filming for about 6 months. Snapped his ankle literally in half, pretty much.
Number 4, The Incredibles 2. And the plot has Mr. Incredible is left home with Violet, Dash, and Jack when Elastigirl becomes the new face of superheroes in a rebranding attempt. As he juggles endless household chores, she gets to work to save everyone from a new villain. We go to a user review.
Just okay for me. I didn't enjoy this one nearly as much as the original and thought parts of it were downright depressing, which is definitely not what you want from a cartoon. This one was a long time coming and not very satisfying, but the baby is funny.
Many disability advocates, including the Epilepsy Foundation, have raised concerns that scenes with flashing lights, particularly the scene of Elastigirl's fight with the screenslaver, can trigger seizures in victims affected by epilepsy. As a result, several theaters posted warnings for audiences. Number 3, Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom. Several years after the demise of Jurassic Park, a volcanic eruption threatens the remaining dinosaurs on the island of Isla Nublar, I think. Claire Daring, the former park manager and founder of the Dinosaur Protection Group, recruits Owen Grady to help prevent the extinction of the dinosaurs once again. We go to a user review.
Ridiculously implausible from start to finish. And I know I'm watching a dinosaur movie, so we moved the accept implausibility to a factor of 10 into my viewing attitude before I watched. A waste of time and money. Write better scripts, people.
I type with no hyperbole that this was the worst movie that I have seen in theaters in 2018 so far. I can sum up the story in one sentence. It has to happen because it will set up the next movie. Logic be damned.
An untitled sequel is set to be released on June 11th of 2021 with Trevorrow returning to direct. Has anyone seen this between you two?
I have not, but I did talk to a girl that saw it, and she said she cried because, spoiler alert, one of the dinosaurs died.
Oh, number 2 on the list of highest grossing movies of 2018 is Black Panther. When King T'Challa returns to his home nation of the secluded but technologically advanced African nation of Wakanda, he is put to the test as both king of his country and Black Panther when he is drawn into a conflict that puts the fate of Wakanda and the world at risk. To defeat his enemies and protect his country, the king must rally his allies and unleash the power of the Black Panther.
I don't know if it was because of the huge hype build over the movie or people are being generous because they want the movie to succeed, but to me, it wasn't a good movie. The plot is weak, the action scenes aren't really good, and even though it got good actors, the drama is not deep. On the bright side, the soundtrack was good. I don't know if it's because of the very tense political moment we find ourselves in, or if it's because of the overhype, topped with the PC flavor, but the movie doesn't cut. Maybe in a different context, it could have been a better movie.
Absolute tripe. All combat scenes are CG. The garbage actors couldn't be bothered to learn martial arts. camera compositions come straight from a crappy B-series movie. The plot is vomit, seemingly written by a 13-year-old with no imagination whatsoever.
Writing for Time, Jamil Smith felt Black Panther would prove to Hollywood that African-American films can generate profits from all audiences, and described it as a resistance to a regressive cultural and political movement fueled in part by the white nativist movement. Its themes challenge institutional bias, its characters take unsubtle digs at oppressors, and its narrative includes prismatic perspectives on black life and tradition. Both of you guys have seen this. Any thoughts?
Number one, I want to say that some of these movie reviews, some of these people are just absolute fucking idiots, okay? Can't take the time to learn martial arts. It's fucking Africa. It's not Asia. This isn't China. This isn't Japan. These are Africans in Wakanda. Kicking ass.
Kicking
names.
ass.
The reason it's CGI is because they have advanced technology. You fucking idiot. It's a storyline. Calm down.
I saw the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I think they overhyped the whole black hero thing because this is not the first black hero we've seen. Do you remember Shaft? Do you remember Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch? Even the dude in Magnum that flew the helicopter, TJ, he was a black hero to me. Why all the fuss about this new black hero?
Agreed.
I completely concur.
And Chef from South Park, he was a black hero to me.
Yeah.
Number 1, Avengers Infinity Wars. As the Avengers and their allies have continued to protect the world from threats too large for any one hero to handle, a new danger has emerged from the cosmic shadows. Thanos, a despot of intergalactic infamy. His goal is to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, artifacts of unimaginable power, and use them to inflict his twisted will on all of reality. Everything the Avengers have fought for has led up to this moment. The fate of the Earth and existence itself has never been more uncertain. We go to user reviews from Rotten Tomatoes.
Sorry, not a huge Marvel fan, unless Fox is behind it. Good moments, but I thought it was too long and boring. Cool concept, but there were too many mediocre storylines. If you like stuff because of the brand attached, you'll love it. If you want a good movie, you'll get a little of what you seek.
It wasn't emotional like everyone else is saying. The death scene at the start was sad, then another, and they were sad, but then after all the other deaths, they didn't matter anymore, they just became insignificant. The focus was divided between Gamora, Thanos, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man, and they only got 20 minutes. We all know the characters will return. Honestly, it's a really bad movie. It was so rushed. Thanos collects all the Infinity Stones in seconds. But before that, when we see his cameos for so long, he didn't acquire a single Infinity Stone in all the previous movies. Honestly, you'd have to be some down-on-your-luck loser working at some dead-end shithole like Rental City to truly enjoy this filth.